Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Pro Football Network YouTube channel. My name is Dalton Miller, and while the NFL draft might be over, free agency soldiers on through the NFL offseason, and today we're going to get into some of the best fits for the available free agents. But before we get to that point, make sure that you guys are hitting that like. Make sure you guys are subscribing to the channel, and make sure you don't forget to hit that bell so you're notified every time we bring you more content. And trust me, there is going to be a ton more content coming your way throughout the NFL offseason. Without further ado, let's talk about some NFL free agents. Leonard Floyd may very well be the best pass rusher left on the market, and that is a good thing for NFL teams because usually by the time May rolls around, that does not happen. Guys of his caliber are not still on the market. But the 6'5", 240-pound edge rusher is, and he has produced quite well for the Los Angeles Rams over the past couple of years. And while he is more of a complimentary pass rusher at this point in his career, I still think that he could provide some very good depth on teams that already have a solid pass rusher or two, or he could provide starting caliber play for teams that are lacking that high-end pass rush talent. Some of the best fits include the Arizona Cardinals, the New York Football Giants, San Francisco 49ers, and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Jadeveon Clowney is probably a free agent by choice at this point. He has never particularly enjoyed the NFL offseason. He likes to do his own thing, and NFL teams have been okay with that. Last season, however, was his second with the Cleveland Browns. He had come off a career year the year before, but he had a down year a little bit last season, and he was sent home at the end of the year with some odd criticism of the team. Nevertheless, the 30-year-old is still an effective run defender who can occasionally get to the quarterback. He is tough. He has the ability and the willingness to play injured, and he would be a fit on 3-4 teams or 4-3 teams because of his versatility. His best fits include the New England Patriots, the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Tennessee Titans, or really any organization that has a strong foundation and culture. After some disastrous finishes in Philadelphia, Indianapolis, and Washington, Carson Wentz is a talented but troubled on-field player at this point and is probably best fit for a backup in this point in his career. The interesting part of that is figuring out his role as a backup and figuring out how to still provide the upside that he has always brought to a team, the talent that he brings without making the big mistakes. He makes the big plays, but he also is making the big mistakes more often than he did early on in his career. However, as a backup, he has a ton of upside. So if he can fit in with the team with a good culture, with a good situation around him that will insulate him a little bit, there's a good chance for him to have a few game stretch where he can play quite well. And when you think about where he could back up most efficiently at, probably some of the best teams in the NFL. You look at the Buffalo Bills, you look at the Cincinnati Bengals, and you look at the Kansas City Chiefs as potential fits at a very low cost for Carson Wentz. Marcus Peters is one of the most fun cornerbacks to watch in the NFL for a very long time now because of his ball hawking nature. And while that could lead to some big plays here and there, he has been the league's best ball hawk over the course of his career. He has been fantastic. He was on a Hall of Fame pace for quite a while in terms of turning the ball over, but an ACL injury in 2021 forced him back on the field in 2022, and he did not quite look like himself in his final season in Baltimore. He may not be a starting caliber guy at this point on the outside, but in a league that absolutely needs and covets depth at the cornerback position, he is a great fit in multiple spots around the league, including the Baltimore Ravens still, the Detroit Lions, the Arizona Cardinals, the Buffalo Bills, Indianapolis Colts, and Minnesota Vikings. John Johnson was having an excellent career in Los Angeles before going to Cleveland and flaming out. And when we look at safeties and defensive backs in particular, team fit and scheme fit is incredibly important. So we need to find spots where John Johnson can do what he did best in Los Angeles for the Rams And why not look at the Los Angeles Chargers as a potential landing spot for him getting back with Brandon Staley as a back-end safety in that type of scheme. Other schemes that might fit him are the Las Vegas Raiders, the Rams again, or the Pittsburgh Steelers. Playoff Lenny, Leonard Fournette, could still be a contributor at the NFL level. And although he isn't that explosive guy that he once was, he is still a good pass protector and a good pass catcher out of the backfield. And he has a little bit of value there because of that situation. He can also pick up yards in short yard situations. So places like the Cincinnati Bengals, the Indianapolis Colts, and the Dallas Cowboys could all be fits for playoff Lenny. Speaking of the Dallas Cowboys, Ezekiel Elliott is still a free agent, and Cowboys fans are probably not surprised by this because Ezekiel Elliott is a shell of his former self, but he still also has value in those short yardage situations. He can still catch passes out of the backfield, and he is still one of, if not the singular best pass protectors at the running back position. So while he won't give you much as a runner at this point, he does still hold value in other spots, and a reunion with the Dallas Cowboys cannot be completely thrown to the side. The Denver Broncos, Cleveland Browns, Los Angeles Chargers, and Arizona Cardinals could also all be fits for Ezekiel Elliott. It's interesting to see somebody that is as good a blocker on the interior as Dalton Risner is still on the market. There aren't a ton of great guards on the market to begin with. There weren't a ton of great guards in the NFL draft. And somehow Dalton Risner is still on the free agent market. And there are a few teams that could still use his contributions as a run blocker and pass protector as a left guard. The Dallas Cowboys immediately come to mind as a team that could use a left guard. They don't know exactly what's happening with Tyler Smith. Tyron Smith is probably going to be injured soon, so Tyler Smith will move out to left tackle, and they will need somebody to fill in there. Dalton Risner could be that guy. The Los Angeles Chargers could also use an upgrade at left guard. The Cincinnati Bengals could definitely use an upgrade at left guard. And the New York Giants are another team that could be a fit for Dalton Risner. I will never give up on Yannick Ngakoue being one of the better pass rushers in the NFL, just completely being misused for most of his career. He is a guy who you bring on the field on 2nd and 10 plus, and a guy you bring on the field on 3rd and 6 plus, and you say, go get the quarterback. He is not somebody who is going to line up on 1st and 2nd down and be a run defender. It has never been his game. He's never been particularly good at it, and teams have continuously told him to do it throughout his career. If you put him on the field in a rotational situation as a pass rusher, he can really do some damage, and there are a bunch of teams around the NFL that could use that. Cleveland Browns, Los Angeles Rams could just use a player, and that's fit because they could use the player, but he would probably need to start as a Ram, so I don't love that fit as a starter. Another place that he could fit in a rotational role is the Washington Commanders, especially because we do not know what is going to happen with their two pass rushers after this season. Much like Marcus Peters, it is a little bit awkward to see Shaquill Griffin still on the free agency market, especially because Shaq Griffin is only 28 years old. He is not, an over-the-hill guy. Now, he is coming off of a back injury that ended his season last year, which could be part of the reason why he is not on a team yet. But he was an effective coverage player for most of his career in Seattle, and then in the first season with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, the emergence of Darius Williams took him off of the team, and Tyson Campbell rounded into a fantastic corner. There are still a bunch of teams that could use a cornerback like Shaquill Griffin. Baltimore Ravens are one. Detroit Lions could still use a corner. Las Vegas Raiders, Arizona Cardinals, Los Angeles Rams. There are a ton of teams that could still use Shaquill Griffin as an outside corner on their football team. Thank you for tuning in, and make sure you get into that comment section and tell us what your favorite player to team fit in free agency is right now. Make sure you are also hitting that like button. Make sure you're subscribing to the channel, and make sure you hit that bell so you don't miss out on any more of the content that we're bringing you guys.